Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica, and today on our little farm I am going to be making Dalton's Halloween costume. He is going to be Bulbasaur this year, and so since I have no clue who Bulbasaur was, it was very interesting. He had to get me a Pokemon card to show me who he actually was. So I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride. If you guys enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to you if you have questions. And if you don't want to miss any more videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Alright guys, let's begin. My attempt to sew Dalton's Bulbasaur costume. First I am making the petals on his back. And then I will attach them to a pentagon. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, 5 pentagon. It's going to be interesting. I have already created the hat. And all I did was take a hat pattern and I sewed triangles onto it. And Dalton put it on, and I kind of did a rough design for the eyeballs and the little triangle things. And then I'm going to take my puff paint and kind of fill it in with the color so I don't have to sew anymore. So I'm just going to get this, go back to the petal and get this started. And then I'll see how I got to do 5 petals. And then I got to do the interior petal, which Dalton decided, since at the top it shows a little pink, that we're going to do pink. So here we go. I got front and back. I got the front of the petal, and then the inside of the petal is going to be pink. And so all I'm going to do is sew them together until except for the top part, or I'll leave the bottom part open so I can flip it inside out. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Okay guys, I finished sewing all the petals together and flipping them inside out, and here all I did was press the seam and make sure it's nice and crisp. Then I took the petals, and as you can see, I sewed along the edge of the petals of the first 4. Then what I'm doing here is just matching the petals and pinning them together. And what I will do is I will sew along the edges, but I will not sew the final seams together until after I sew it onto the pentagon. And then what I'm doing is taking the top portions of the petals and sewing them together, if you can see, up along the top edge. There we go. As you can see, I pinned it first just to make sure it was going to fit on the pentagon, and then I went ahead and I sewed it right there. Yep, and there's the pentagon. And what I'm going to do is just pin the bottom edges. I just cut it out in a piece of scrap fabric, and then I'm just pinning it along the edge right there. That's the first one. And that's the second one. The third one. The fourth one. And then with the fifth one, I just made it, I went along the seam and I made sure everything was nice and smooth. And I completed it, actually, because remember we kept the top part open. And so once I went ahead and I sewed that, and then I flipped it inside out, like I'm doing here. And then what I'm going to do is sew along the top edge of the last hole. Well, first I got to stuff. And then I'll sew along the top edge. Yep, there's Hope's finger. The joys of having the children help me. They're trying to get fancy with the recording there. And you just stuff it until it's full. Then I went ahead and I sewed the last of the seam. Then I took a scrap piece of fabric, because I had a top portion that was open, and I just sewed along the edges of the top, so it made it kind of look like it was an open bulb up top, is what I really did. Now, if I was thinking, I would have put the straps in along the pentagon, but since I didn't think that far ahead, I had to sew them on by hand in the end, which is all right. It still worked and it held. And see there, I'm just pinning the last of the portion, and see the hole right up top? I just took a scrap piece when I was done and to close the hole. Or you could put a zipper in there. I've seen it that way. And there I am trying to just iron it open. It didn't work at all. Which, oh well. It kind of got them open. Yep, there's the children trying to help me again. I had many assisted hands there. All right, let's go on. Okay, guys, all I did was put that black piece of felt inside, and this is the finished bulb. Now onto the hat. I just cut out little pieces of green fabric, and I'm using this adhesive. It's the No Sew Heat Bond adhesive. And I cut it to the shape size. And all you do is you take the non-papered side and you iron it onto your fabric. And for the random shapes, I just kind of guesstimated on the picture on the spot shape. And then you take off the paper and you adhere it to the hat. And then after that, what I'm going to do is take my puff paint here, and I am going to go around the shapes and then go around the eyes. If you could kind of see the faded marks. And then I'm going to add the red for the pupil and then the white. This is after the black. Now I'm going to add the red. And then lastly, I added the white, and I let it dry. At first it didn't look right, but then after it dried, it looked fine. Then I'm taking just a plain pajama pattern and cutting out fleece, and that will be the body of the pattern. I found it was easier using the rotary cutter to cut out the fabric, And then what I did was I cut out random shapes using the same heat adhesive, applied the shapes to the body. And here I am just taking the puff paint and going around the shapes on both the shirt and the pants. And at sewing up the shirt and the pants, it was quite difficult. I actually had to call my mother up because I did not have any luck trying to figure out how to do it, just how they worded the pattern. But my mother is an expert, so she's an expert in my mind. And see, there it is. And then I'm just going to do the same thing and repeat. And here's Dalton trying on the bulb. And then what I did was I took the straps and the other side I hand sewed them. And with each one I had to adjust and make sure before. If you can see, there's pins on that one, just to make sure it was going to fit and he could take it on and off. Okay, and here I am just making a whip or vine, because if you notice, Bulbasaur had a vine. So I just took 3 scraps and I braided them together, and then I tied them both ends, and then I pinked, using my pinking shears, I cut the ends, and then I didn't sew it on, I just put it so it went on the straps, and that worked. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on me making Dalton's costume. It was definitely interesting. If I had to do stuff differently, I would probably have put the straps in while I was sewing the petals on, so I didn't have to do that later. But it turned out okay, and it lasted, so he's already testing my ability for sewing. So this is the second year I've had to make him a costume. It's been very interesting. Alright, you guys have a good day. Again, if you guys want to see more videos, go ahead and keep watching and hit the subscribe button. You guys have a good day, and God bless.